Where is Jon Jones right now? What can he do when he returns? And is it realistic to turn the tables in the UFC in 2025 to 2026? Why return at all? Jones has two pillars: legacy and leverage. His legacy is his status as the best regardless of weight class, plus his rare ability to change the course of a fight, not with strength, but with decisions. His leverage is his ability to choose the moment and the opponent so that victory changes the rules of the game, rather than just giving him a paycheck. In 2025, he found himself at just such a crossroads. The heavyweight division is alive and kicking, both in the media and in the ring, and on the horizon is the historic year of 2026, with a new broadcast model and huge coverage. This is not a backdrop. It is a window of opportunity. The current battlefield, briefly and factually. Tom Aspinall is now bringing order to the heavyweight division. He has become a full-fledged champion and will defend his title against Ghana in Abu Dhabi on October 25th. This is already a new hierarchy where Jones does not influence the grid with his name. In the summer, Jones publicly announced his retirement, against which backdrop talk of his unification fight with Aspinall came to nothing. But in September, he assured everyone that he had not ended his career and was training for a potential comeback. Contradictory signals are also a kind of leverage. Dana White has openly stated that he does not want to take the risk of putting Jones at the head of a high-profile event at the White House. The stakes are too high. There are too many variables. At the same time, the idea of Jones versus Pereira in the summer of 2026, even with talk of 205 pounds, regularly pops up in the media. This shows the direction of the hype but does not guarantee the lineup, although the fighters themselves are apparently not opposed to this fight. Starting in 2026, the UFC is moving to the Paramount Plus CBS ecosystem for 7 years, 13 numbered events and 30 fight night events without the old PPV model for the US. This is a different audience scale, and it is precisely this framework that gives rise to mega fights. Now to the point, what exactly can Jones turn around and how? Option 1. Pereira and why it changes the rules. Jones versus Pereira is a clash of styles and eras. IQ plus wrestling versus deadly striker timing. Such a fight will not only rewrite the light heavyweight division, but will also affect the heavyweight division. By defeating Pereira, Jones can easily set the terms for the next mega fight in the heavyweight division. And again, on his own terms. Real questions. Weight. Returning to 205 is a huge challenge for a 38-year-old fighter who has gained functional mass for heavyweight. With poor cutting, you lose exactly what Jones has always had: clarity of decisions in the 18 to 25-minute range. Pereira's style. He doesn't just hit. He punishes mistakes in footwork and at the fence. Any pass without proper preparation is met with a knee uppercut. Any dirty exit from a clinch is met with a left hook in an arc. Where is Pereira's weakness? The same as all elite kickers without a wrestling base. Exhausting control at the cage, repeated transitions, breaking the tempo by switching from submission threats to finishing moves and back. If Jones is disciplined in the early rounds, transitions early, sticks to the body, and breaks Pereira's stance at the fence, the odds are excellent. If he plays with fire and gives Pereira a lot of clean distance, any slowdown on his heavy frame will be punished. Verdict on the road. This is the maximum media exposure and almost the same maximum risk, especially if you cut to 205. If the UFC is really preparing historic summer cards for 2026, this is the kind of crossover that sells the era and gives Jones a chance to turn the conversation about his legacy in the right direction. Option 2. Aspinall. The only heavyweight fight that answers all the questions is the long-awaited Jones versus Aspinall. A victory for Jones here would give him back not just the belt, but control of the division. He would take away the legitimacy of being the best from the most media-friendly new star. A defeat would put an end to Jones's heavyweight career for good. It's a yes or no situation with no gray areas. The key to the fight is pace and distance. Aspinall is the fastest heavyweight in recent years. He doesn't just explode in a series, he presses and forces his opponent to work against the fence, where the usual timing breaks down. Jones won against big guys precisely by controlling the decisions. Clinch net, transition through chains, single body lock trips, cutting off support with oblique kicks and low kicks to the front leg, mixing threats, feints in the passage, then elbows in the clinch. Jones's problem in the heavyweight division: his weight added power to his grip, but took away some of his first step and explosive speed when entering the fight. Against Aspinall, without respect for the jab counter too. Risking a long pass means exposing yourself to a short counter, a plan that makes sense. The first 90 in 120 seconds contain Aspinall's start: jab oblique kick, lots of feints, constant counting of distance. As soon as Tom puts his supporting foot down, a short clinch at the fence with a dive to the body, working to wear him down. Dirty fighting, knees to the thigh, elbows in the gaps. Middle of the fight, a variety of threatening scenarios. Fake pass elbow, going behind the back at the fence, transition at the moment of changing stances. If this framework holds, Jones has 25 minutes to redirect the fight. If Tom forces him into a cat and mouse game in the middle of the cage and keeps clean exchanges on his hands, Jones's chances quickly melt away. Verdict on this option: quite controversial, the most dangerous and the most turning point. Victory. The heavyweight hierarchy is his again. Defeat. A worthy ending, but with no chance of a restart. From a legacy standpoint, it's the best choice to shut up all those who said Jones was running away from Tom. What Jones has left as a plus elite fighter: victories through decisions. He cuts off his opponent's strengths not with power, but with geometry and threats. False levels, knee feints, clinch elbows, hand control at the fence, all of this ages slower than reflexes. Vision of exchange. He rarely loses the exchange completely. There is always a handbrake, clinch, distance, kick, horse, dirty work. Where Aspinall and Pereira are used to dominating with a clean phase, center of the cage, clean series, Jones moves into the discomfort zone. The fence, stopping support, micro-pausing the rhythm. What is in question? The first step in fighting in a heavy frame. If the entries become predictable, the price of mistakes increases. Damage resource volume for 25 minutes. Age and weight require perfect economy. And discipline. The psychology of risk. Jones has always been a cold pragmatist. Will he agree to maximum risk for maximum effect? That is the main plot. Factors outside the cage that affect the mathematics of Risk 2026. The new media model makes mega fights even more valuable, both for the UFC and for the athletes. This means that the timing of his return is more important than ever. Card policy. The White House is a showcase. The leadership has already said that it does not want to lay mines on primetime television. This means that Jones's path to such venues lies through ironclad guarantees of form and behavior, or through another mega fight on other dates. Competition for attention. Right now, fans have a clear heavyweight hero, Aspinall, and a light heavyweight superstar, Pereira. To get what he wants, Jones has to beat either one of them or both in turn. Any other option is loud, but not epic-making. My prediction for the scenarios: if the goal is to turn everything upside down as quickly as possible, Pereira. At 205, it's too harsh a cut for the 38-year-old heavyweight Jones. At heavyweight, it's more realistic. The weight neutralizes some of Pereira's explosiveness and increases the value of wrestling control. Technically, the victory looks like 48, 4 CFM 49, 46 with a large chunk of control at the fence. Medially, it's a bomb, and it opens the door to Aspinall. Aspinall. There is a plan for victory. Discipline on the entrances. A series of clinches at the fence, footwork in the first half, then connecting upper elbows and transitions against the backdrop of the opponent's fatigue. It's too hard, but it's doable. The risk factor is off the charts, but the prize is exactly what is needed. If the goal is safer and more cautious, Stipe as a warm-up, reasonable, but not a game changer. Any other heavyweight, Gan, etc., payday, but limited impact on history. The final answer to the main question: can Jones come back and turn everything around? Yes, but only if he takes one of two maximum risk routes. An immediate assault on Aspinall with a plan to control decisions instead of exchange blows. Victory, and he's back in command of the heavyweight division and the UFC agenda. A crossover with Pereira, better in heavyweight than at 205, where the goal is to capture the mainstream and return to the status of global number one in terms of interest. Victory, and he himself will determine the next step. Any other option is a worthy return for a great fighter, but not a comeback. Jones still has something that is valued above strength: the ability to impose his decisions on the best in the world. If he brings not only form but also discipline to the cage, he can still change the history of the division in real time. The question is not can he, but how much he is willing to risk right now.